Today's lesson is lesson 2.1, Finding Slope from 2 Points. Let's go ahead and start with the slope-intercept form of a line. F of x is equal to mx plus b. Today we are going to talk about the slope of that line, which is what the variable m stands for. To find the slope of a line, we are going to use the formula below. The formula says we're going to take y2 and subtract y1 and divide it by x2 minus x1. Where we get these x1 and x2 are from our ordered pairs. Remember that an ordered pair or a point is always an x value, comma, a y value. We are going to deal with two of them, which is why we see x of 2 minus x of 1 on the denominator of our slope, or the bottom of it, and why we see y2 minus y1 in the top, or the numerator. Let's go ahead and start with our first example. What is the slope of a line that passes through the points 19, negative 16, and negative 7, negative 15? The first thing you're going to want to do are to label your x's and y's. Remember, a point or an ordered pair is always in the form x, comma, y. Just like in the alphabet, x, y, z, x is always first. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to label the first numbers inside the parentheses as x. You can call whichever one you want 1, x1, and whichever one you want x2. It is traditional, though, to call the first one x1 and the second one x2. But if you want to be a rebel, you can switch them. Now, the second numbers inside of the parentheses after the commas are, of course, our y's. Once you have dictated or set their x value, you cannot change their y. So this is y1 because its x is x1, and this is y2 because its x is x2. Now I'm ready to go ahead and to plug them into the slope formula. When we are first learning slope, it is not a bad idea to start by writing down the formula. It's going to help you to see and to where the numbers go, and it's going to help you to memorize the formula. All right, now that I have the formula all set, I know that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab my y values and I'm going to substitute them into the places of y1 and y2. If you'd like, you can make parentheses for them. Remember, y2 goes first and y1 goes second. On the bottom, I'm going to do the same thing. If you'd like, you can put parentheses to substitute in your x values. Remember, x2 goes first and x1 goes second. Now you're going to go ahead and you're going to subtract. You can subtract using your mental math, or you can go ahead and subtract using a calculator. The nice thing about the calculator is that it will reduce it for you. But you're going to end up with negative 1 over 26. This is your slope. Let's try another one. What is the slope of a line that passes through the points 1, negative 19 and negative 2, negative 7? Remember, you're going to go ahead and start by labeling your points. The first numbers are x's, 1 and 2, just in order from left to right. The second numbers inside the parentheses are our y's. They have to have the same number as their x's. I cannot switch it. Sorry. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write down the formula, because when I have a formula, it's always a good idea to start by writing that formula down. And now I can go ahead and I can get ready to substitute. Remember, if I'd like, I can use my parentheses to help me substitute on the top. -7 for y, and -19 for y1. Sorry, -7 for y2, and -19 for y1. I can do the same thing on the bottom. -2 for x2 and 1 for x1. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to subtract. If I were to subtract, I do get 12 over -3. If I divide that in my calculator, I do get -4 for a slope. Okay, so what I'm trying to show you here is we can do mental math, or we can go ahead and we can use our calculator. Let's try one more. X, X, 1, 2. It's asking the same question over and over, and that's why I'm not reading it to you. Remember, with the Y's, you want to mimic because they're kind of like a married couple. They want to have the same last name, 1 with the 1, 2 with the 2. We don't want to see a 1 with a 2. So please make sure that in your ordered pair, you have an x2 and a y2, a y1, an x1 and a y1. There we go. I'm going to put the wrong number. All right, I'm going to go ahead and try this one without my parentheses. I'm going to go ahead and do -4 minus 7 for the y's, and I'm getting them right from the ordered pair. And then I'm going to go ahead in the x's on the bottom, -6 minus -4. Now remember, when I see something like this, a double negative, that it does become a positive, but I can choose to let my calculator take care of that for me. I'm going to end up with 11 over +2. All right, I know you're probably thinking, I've got this, but I do want to show you two special cases in my last two examples. They are asking the same question: what is the slope of a line that passes through the points? So let's go ahead and continue what we've been doing. X, X, 1, 2, Y, Y, 1, 2. 1 with the 1, 2 with the 2. Let's go ahead and write our formula since we've moved pages, and I might mess up. y2 minus y1, and on the bottom, x2 minus x1. The more you write it, the more it gets inside your head, and you will remember it. You will memorize it. And that's the goal we want. y2 is 3, y1 is 3. Okay, nope, that's correct. X2 is 20 and x1 is 19. 3 minus 3 is 0, and 20 minus 19 is 1. If I were to divide this, I do get 0. So I just wanted to show you here that you could have a slope of 0, and that is okay. On our last and final example, I do want to show you another special case. So let's go ahead and label our x's, 1 and 2. Remember, just like I read from left to right, that's how I'm labeling them, x1 and x2. Y and y's are second, and once again, 1 and 2, 1 with the 1, 2 with the 2. All right, one last time, our formula. Let me go ahead and ignore that. y2 over y1, x2 over x1. Let's go ahead and substitute in for this one. All right, y2 is 8 and y1 is -13. I might want to go ahead and do that just to remind myself that there is a double minus there. And then on the bottom, it's 17 minus 17. All right, well, that double negative on the top is going to change to a positive. 8 plus 13 is 21. On the bottom, 17 minus 17 is 0. If I put this into my calculator says this word. Uh-oh, My calculator says error. So what is my slope? Well, when this happens, you have a slope that is called undefined. And this is your answer for your slope. It's a special case. And the reason this is happening is because you cannot, I'm going to put it in capital letters like I'm screaming at you, divide by 0. You learned that back in grade school. You can't have 0 as a divisor. It cannot be in the numerator. So let me just remind you one last time. 0, oops, that's not a 0. Let's change that. 0 divided by a number, let's just say 1, is okay. This is all right. We'll put a big smiley face. This is okay. 1, though, or any number divided by 0 is not okay. This is not good. Okay?